Hi, and welcome back to Armchair Pundits. As you can see, this week is just myself and Daryl. How you doing, D?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. Yeah, it's been all right week. Yeah, especially for you guys anyway.
Yeah, can't complain. Midweek game, so 2 wins in a row. Uh, Clean sheet versus Fulham was an exciting game. 1-0 win, Salah penalty. Could have got more goals, but clean sheet is always imperative. What we're looking at and what we're chasing, and just keeps it going. And moving on to this game against Brentford, another a 1-0 win, another Salah goal, which Salah just keeps breaking records after records. He's now got he's now scored in 9 games in a row at Anfield, which no one has ever done. And Alisson getting his 100th clean sheet,
Yeah,
which was I think his third quickest. I mean,
it's been good.
it's all too late.
Well, you say
Yeah. For me,
you say it's
he's
too
been
late.
out, he's been outplayed this season.
You say it's too late, but like top four's back on, boy.
No, I won't say it's back on.
That's one
I'll
point.
see how this weekend.
It's 1 point.
Bro, I see how this weekend pans out. Yeah, but come on, man. Like, we'll talk about Man United's 2 games or later on, but yes, they dropped points and we've gained, but there's still 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
And
they just got to show
I'm
what
just
can happen
happy
though.
that we're yeah, true. I'm just happy that we're winning because, like I said last week, ending the season on a high is so much better because it makes preseason better. It it removes the doubt from the players because I'm pretty sure if we'd ended the season just losing games and losing, drawing the odd win, losing, drawing the win, draw, then you go into preseason thinking, what the heck? How are we going to fix this? Whereas if we finish the season winning 9 games in a row, then they're looking forward to players coming in and pushing us forward. So the game itself, yeah, go on.
Do you think if you win 9 games in a row, you'll get top four?
Nah. Listen, I don't know. That's just the honest truth because I think we can win all 9 games, but at the same time, I just can't see Man U not picking up the points they need. I think it's 7 points, maybe even less than that now that they need.
Yeah, but did you see?
And they've got 3 home games.
We didn't see him losing to West Ham, and that happened. And there's 2 losses in a row for them. Both won.
True.
Both games really where they've been at their own fault. So I think it's still on for you guys. If I'm honest with you, like it'd be crazy to think that Liverpool on the season that they had could actually sneak into the top four. It'd be mad.
No, if Man United had more away games, because let's be honest, they've been rubbish away from home.
Mm.
Both of those defeats were away from home, so it's different. 3 of the last 5 games are at home, so I can see them winning or getting 2 wins and a draw. They've lost one away game. They've lost one game at home all season, so it's tantalising. But I'm not going to be caught up in it and then have Man United fans at the end of the season saying, "Yeah, you actually thought you were going to get there, didn't you? Yeah, you thought you were going to get there." No. That's not happening. If we get there, then yeah, great. But I don't see it happening because Man United aren't that bad to drop that many points at home this season. But in terms of the game itself, I mean, it was a weird one. I'll be honest. I was on edge.
Mm.
Like, a lot as much as they didn't really get any shots off, the penalty box pressure from box to box pressure was intense, man. The throw-ins, the free kicks, like it sounds weird. Alisson didn't really have much to do, but it still felt like at one point I said in one of our groups, it'll be a miracle if we don't concede. Literally just because we're conceding so many free kicks that at some point something was going to happen. But credit to the guys. I mean, Klopp said himself. He said it was the best set piece defensive session he's seen in his life, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
The bodies were in a line, the headers were won. I mean, yes, they had the goal disallowed, and some people were doubting what do you call it, Van Dijk, saying, "Look what's happened to him. He's done." But then they don't. When it's offside, they don't then say, "Oh, you know what? That was good defending," because that's what it was.
It was good.
It wasn't by accident.
It was
Yeah,
it was
it
good
wasn't by
defending.
accident.
It was good finish in the end. Obviously, he was clearly offside. That's no question of a doubt in that. But to be honest with you, people saying, "Oh, he ran at Van Dijk was all over the place." I don't think that was the case. I think Van Dijk basically kind of shepherded him and forced him to slow down and delay it. And in the end,
Yeah,
he got the chance when he was up against two defenders, and then wrapped it around the
yeah,
keeper. So, but it's a relative anyway. I don't know why people are getting on Van Dijk so much this season. Like I don't blame Van Dijk necessarily solely on his fault. I think the whole team's been poor defensively. Got
yeah,
two clean sheets in a row. And part of that defensive problem has been the fact that you haven't had a midfield there to protect them. So they're going to become under more pressure. People have not been scared of you this season. They've come at you. And to be honest with you, the criticism Van Dijk's getting is a bit harsh, really. For me, he's still one of the best defenders in the Premier League, without doubt,
hmm
and has been consistent. You know, to be honest, if you're going to have one off season, like now's the time to have it, I guess. But it's not just been him; it's been the whole team. And again, it's the lack of that protection in midfield, personally, in my opinion.
yeah. 100% has been. Listen, Klopp. You very rare you hear managers say openly that when we get new players in the summer, things will change, and Klopp has now started saying that. Things we'll see how it is once we get new players in the summer. He's openly saying that we're not good enough, and it's because we don't have good enough players in certain positions.
Is is
And
is that
as
actually
a
going to happen in the summer? Though? Is that I know you need to buy players. Is that money there to be spent though? That's the question. That's the
yeah,
worry.
it has to because Milner apparently is going to Brighton. Apparently that's done. That's a done deal.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Ox, yeah, apparently he's going to Brighton on a free. Ox obviously is leaving. Then you've got I think three others. There's four altogether leaving. So yeah, Keita, the other one, and Firmino. They're the four. So there's no way we can't replace. Even if we don't replace all four, as in like for like, we're gonna replace
But if you're saying that,
to strengthen it.
you've brought in players not like for like, and not let players go this season. So you've backfilled spaces that were going to be vacant this summer anyway.
Yeah, I think Gakpo is clearly signed with Firmino going. So we're not going to replace Firmino because he's already been replaced
Mm.
in that regard. But in terms of the three midfielders, they're going to have to be replaced. Jones has played so well in the 6 games we won. Yes, some people say but he hasn't set the world on fire, but he's just done his job. And at so many parts of the season, we just needed people to do their job.
Well,
Because if you do your job at our level, you win games.
but that's interesting, really, because you're saying that Jones has had good spells. Elliott's arguably had good spells. But
Mm.
Cechich had good spells. So really, what's stopping these youngsters next season fighting for a place consistently starting in that midfield? Why, not necessarily that you have to bring players in. I know obviously James's opinion is to bring in every single quality talented
Listen,
midfielder, but these guys
bro, come on.
they need a chance though, don't they?
But we want to win we want to win a title, bro. Like as good as these guys have shown, they've now shown that they can be squad players. They're very good squad players.
Mm.
They're not strong first teamers. We got knocked out in the Champions League versus Real Madrid because we played by Cechich, Henderson, and I think Fabinho might have even been injured. But if not Fabinho, and we had Milner in there, that's not good enough.
Mhm.
Like we want to win Champions Leagues. You can't win Champions League with that. Realistically, you want to go in there with Fabinho and McAllister and Gravenberch or what's his name from Chelsea? How can I forget his name?
Mason Mount.
The Chelsea Mason Mount. If you got a Mount, a Fabinho and Gravenberch or McAllister, that's a much better midfield. In honesty, not that I'm a favourite of Mount, but he's one of the guys that's heavily linked. If you got a Kone, or if you got even someone like Sumare, he's not great, but for our style of midfield, he's probably better suited than Elliot or someone like that from Leicester. Not being an advocate of signing him, but that's the kind of person. Kefren Turam, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But if we're going into next season, exactly. If we're going into the season and we're like, okay, cool, yeah, we're going to play Man City, and then we've got Real Madrid, and then we've got Arsenal. Imagine we've got that as 3 games in a row, and that's our midfield. Come on. we'll be tearing our hair out. So the guys are definitely needed, and the talk from Klopp is quality will be brought in. Whether it's the first choice, whether it's the second choice, whether it's the third choice, he said players will be brought in this summer. So we can't have the same mistake we had last, man, because Brentford could have got a draw of the game, a game that they weren't really in unless we made mistakes. They could have got a draw, and so many times this season, teams have been able to get points from us because we don't have enough to say we're better than them. Our level should be here, and their level should be here. And for some reason, this season, our level's been down here, and people can even say, "Oh yeah, but Brentford should have won." That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening, and hopefully next season that won't happen. But credit to Brentford, they tried, but Salah proved that he is quality. In his worst season that everyone's been saying, he's got 30 goals again.
Yeah.
The criticism he's been getting all season, I had a little pop at him earlier in the season because I thought he wasn't doing enough in terms of if the other guys are lacking, then you've got to do a bit more. Even when he's tracking back.
Step up, yeah.
Yeah, you got, and thankfully he did. Fabinho, I said it to you guys before. Like, form is temporary, class is permanent. And over the last 6 games, whether it's because the legs have got better around him, he's looked more like his old self.
Yeah,
hasn't looked his best, but he's looked good enough for us to say, okay, cool.
It looked enough to say, like, yeah, that's our starting DM. That's the guy that we need to secure. Yeah. And again, on the criticism of Van Dijk, who got the assist for Salah's goal, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
People don't want to be talking about that, you know. But yeah,
and that's 2 clean sheets in a row as well for him.
Yeah,
2 clean sheets in a row for him as well.
Well, we'll see what happens in the summer. We'll see what happens towards the end of the season because obviously I still think going from Mission Impossible to now 1 point behind, and you just never know. You could sneak in there, like, if I'm honest with you. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the summer. We can see your list is long. You've reeled off a whole lot of players. Not surprised.
Listen, I've got more.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Listen, I said to you before, and it will come up to it, Alcaraz scored again. And Danilo scored again. These were 2 guys that were on my list in January for us to have brought in, and we didn't bring them in. And fair enough, they're young, they need a game time, and they may have not got the same game time to get in now, but who knows?
True.
But cool. You were at the lane. Well, it's not even the lane. It's at Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah, Tottenham Stadium.
You were at the Tottenham Stadium to see a win.
Yep.
For the first time in a little while.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, it was much more assured performance. The back 4 actually worked this time. Interesting to see that Eric Dyer got dropped. And obviously Emerson Royal was back as well, which seemed to make a difference. So, you know, you had out-and-out left backs and right backs for the formation, for the position. And then you had obviously 2 centre backs that obviously complement each other, one left-footed. And Romero actually played a bit more sensibly. So it was good.
So 1 second. So you were there. I wasn't sure whether it was a 3 or 4, because at first I thought, is Mason copying what's his name, Gareth Southgate? So playing Emerson same way Southgate plays Walker as a third centre back.
No, it was
and Porro playing as a wing back.
No, straight 4-4-2. Porro was more or less playing right midfield, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
But he could obviously come back and cover in. Gave us some legs on the wing. Also, you know, the midfield 2 were the same. Obviously, Skip and Højbjerg, and it just meant that it allowed Son to have a bit of freedom when he's got Davis to be able to cover him on his side, and then if they need to pull round, and Porro fills in at right back while Emerson moves over more centrally and Longley moves over more to cover that. Gave Son a bit more freedom. And then obviously you had Richarlison and Kane as the main front two effectively. But it worked. Ryan Mason said after the game that they had time to work on it. The last two games, the turnaround between Conte leaving, then obviously Stellini leaving, and they weren't able to work on the formations and get it ready in time. They had a whole week this week to get it ready, and it looks like they got their game plan right. To be honest with you, obviously as a Tottenham fan, I'm not going to say I was disappointed, but Palace didn't really show nothing, and I was a bit surprised by that. Really, before the game, I was a bit worried with the players that they had attacking wise, the flair that they've got, the capability of their forward line, and Zaha obviously being back as well. I expected a bit more from Palace, and to be honest, really, they didn't really show nothing. To be honest with you, which was quite surprising. And obviously, defensively, we know that's probably their weakest point on the pitch, and we didn't really exploit it as much as we could have. Obviously, Kane got his goal, breaking records. You wanna big up Salah for breaking records. Kane's out here breaking records as well, overtaking Rooney outright, and obviously the amount of header goals in the season record now that is his. So got to give Kane props. But he started the move off for his goal. Great ball out to Porro with a decent delivery, and Kane finishes those headers for fun. But to be honest with you, it was a bit of a strange game being there because we felt like we was in control of the game, and I don't know why we haven't been able to control games like this season so far. But we felt like we was fully in control of the game, and Palace didn't really offer much to feel worried about. Which for a Spurs fan at the game, your blood pressure was calm, and it was a good win. Obviously, we'll take the 3 points. We've already messed up, obviously, Champions League, but I don't want to be in a conference if I can help it. I'd rather not play in Europe next season than be in a conference. I know Kane's come out and said that it's a trophy potentially to win and stuff like that, but it'll just go to the banter and of other teams. If I'm honest with you, by the fact that if we win the Conference League, that it's a worthless trophy. That's what people be saying. But trophy's a trophy, so we take it if we're in it. But really,
trophy's a trophy, bro.
Yeah, really. Like for me, it has to be Europa League now. You have got to try and salvage that, if I'm honest with you. But obviously, Brighton got games in hand. But to be honest, the results went well for us and for you this weekend.
It did.
So hopefully that continues. But it was a pleasant surprise to control the game so comfortably and get the 3 points, obviously. So it's decent.
I looked at the game myself and I was like, this seems a lot more controlled than I expected it to be. Like you said, I mean, we've been ranting and raving about Eze. There's a couple of things he did in the game that made you think, this kid is good. But I think he did well. Is it time to consider him as a manager, maybe?
No, don't be silly. Just like you said about the players that you want, playing that certain midfielders, our squad players and stuff like Ryan Mason. We want to compete. We want to be in Champions League.
Stuff, yeah.
You want to be in Champions League. You want to be, up there towards the top of the league. And Mason's not that guy for me.
I'm hearing you want to take our number 2 goalkeeper, which I'm not too happy about.
Yeah,
I know we've got Alisson, and we were talking about it before.
I'll take it.
Keith Kelleher needs to stay, man.
No, I'll take it.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He is a good goalkeeper, but bro, like he's not getting ahead of Alisson, is he? The only time he's going to play is in needless cup matches, like early rounds.
For me,
and
I'll give him Europa League, bro. I'll give him Europa League.
Well, consistently.
I'll say, Europa League. This season, if we get Europa League this season, let it be his competition.
Say
stay on.
You're forgetting that Europa League leads to Champions League, so It's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
bruv, he's a
It's
good
not
goalkeeper.
throwaway competition.
He's a good goalkeeper,
He's a good
man.
goalkeeper, but
He won us the Carabao Cup.
Alisson's been your best player this season. Yes or no?
Yeah, I know,
Exactly.
he has
So
been. But listen, there's not. Look, he's a first team goalkeeper. He's a Premier League goalkeeper, and we've managed to get him to be a number two. And I'm happy to loan him for a couple of years, like Chelsea did with what's his face, Courtois, and keep him. Yes, we spoke about before the show that Alisson's not going anywhere soon, like 2 years time.
yeah,
But I don't know. It just feels like we could be letting go a really good goalkeeper.
bruv, it's just you and your greediness, man. You want to starve a man of first team football, bro.
Bro, he's home. No, I said loan. He can go on loan for 2 years.
I love
Right, you could loan him for 2 years. We need a British goalkeeper so we can have Fraser Forster as our number two, or number three actually, because he's just British. We'll take him as our number three, and then bring someone else in.
You think Levi?
But nah,
You think Levy's gonna do any loan deals like that? I don't think so, bro. That's not gonna happen, bro.
bro,
And
Queeve gives you homegrown in it.
it does, yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But on the real, do you see Lloris leaving then in the summer, or just competition?
I think right.
If the talk is true,
I think right now, obviously he's injured, so potentially he's out for the rest of the season. That's what we're hearing. It'd be a shame.
I heard he was out, but he wasn't injured. I heard that he wasn't injured, but he's out.
Well,
I think I read that somewhere, I thought that was a bit weird. He's not injured, but he's out for the rest of the season. I was
I
like,
don't know what's happened behind closed doors, but that all occurred around the Newcastle game, obviously.
half time.
So don't know. And if that's his last game
Son
for us,
punched him.
if that's his last game for us, it'd be a crying shame. So, I don't know really. As a club captain, people don't give him the rating and respect that he deserves personally, because he's a captain. For me, he's I know Kane's England captain, but for me, Lloris is the better captain. He's French captain.
Bro, the amount of times I've heard them say the Tottenham captain, and they talk about Kane, I'm always like, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
Commentators say it all the time, and it's like so disrespectful.
When Lloris is not playing, he is, but
No, but I've heard him when Lloris is there. I've heard him say, "Yeah, Tottenham captain doing his job." I'm like, wow.
Just lazy journalists forgetting that he's thinking, he's England captain, so he must be club captain as well for Tottenham, but it's not the case. Lloris is a consummate professional, and you got to respect that. And he's always tried his best and always wanted his best for Tottenham. He's always been determined to try and win something with Tottenham. It obviously hasn't happened. It depends on what offers he gets, and at the moment, a lot is going to be dependent on who the manager is and who's going to come in. That's going to be key to any of those decisions, if you ask me. If I'm honest with you.
Well, we'll probably talk about it more later. But there's talk of Nagelsmann being spoken to. But I guess we'll hear more about it as the weeks go on. But we'll move on to the biggest game of the weekend, so to speak. The one that a lot of people thought would end the title race, or almost end it. Newcastle versus Arsenal.
Yep.
And once again, I find myself giving Arsenal props this season.
Give them props, bro. They stood up and were accountable in that match, boy. Newcastle tried to come out with some bully boy tactics, and it didn't work. Arsenal was strong and resolute, and I think part of that was down to the fact that last year it went wrong, and it cost them the top four at Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I think Arteta was like, we're not having that again, not this time. And I think, to be honest with you, I'd say I'm not sure Eddie Howe got it right by starting both Callum Wilson.
Bro, it's not even a debate, bro. That's not even a debate. He got it wrong.
Yeah, and as much as Isak was doing bits, he wasn't doing bits in the positions that he should have done it if Callum Wilson wasn't starting. That's my opinion. So they obviously tried a thing and they didn't get it right, and Arsenal capitalised. I don't know what it is about teams this week want to give Odegaard time, bro. Does everyone not watch what this guy's capable of?
Exactly.
Everyone's giving this guy time to shoot. Like, come on, man. Like, and then obviously the own goal was unfortunate. And Newcastle did hit the post a couple of times and the crossbar, but to be honest with you, Arsenal deserved it. They're the better team. They didn't fall into the Newcastle mind games and traps that they were trying to do. And I suppose you could tell the game kind of shifted when that penalty got chalked off by VAR. I think
Correctly?
yeah,
Right decision or wrong decision in your opinion?
in the laws of the game, yeah,
Yeah, he hit his leg first,
it
man.
come off his thigh first.
I don't,
And it's irrelevant, isn't
I
it?
don't think
So,
he hit his arm. I don't
I
think
don't
he hit his arm. It looked from,
whether it did or whether it didn't. It hit his thigh first, so
yeah,
that meant at that point
yeah.
it's not a penalty. But fair play to VAR, they made the referee go and look at it. Referee obviously he
Mm-hmm.
knows his laws, he got it right, and yeah. And from that, Arsenal just went on from strength to that. They had chances as well; they could have put that game away, but Newcastle did look better once they brought on Gucci, once they brought on Alan St. Maximum.
Mm-hmm.
They looked more of an attacking threat, but by that point it was too late. So I think Eddie got it wrong, and maybe he'll learn from that. But you know, it's they're safe. I think they're not the ones to worry about for top four. They'll bounce back from this. And Arsenal, you got to give them props and respect. They showed that they're still fighting, and they showed their title credibility and credentials to keep it going. So fair play to him. Give him that. I have to say though, I've been hearing, and a lot of Arsenal fans just getting on Saka's case. I'm a bit surprised by that, considering the season that he's had.
Because he's had a dip.
Yeah,
Listen, he's a kid.
yeah.
He's 21. He's 21 years old, man. At 21 years old, you're not going to be consistent. You're not. And maybe there were times where, in my opinion, when he was playing Europa League games, he shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Well,
Or he shouldn't have been playing some of those Europa League games. He should have been rested from those games.
Yeah, right.
And he was playing them.
Right, he said it. Ian Wright said it. He said he feels that in this running that Arteta needs to manage him and give him rest and just give him that little freshener and stuff like that. To be honest with you, it's not in their hands now, so I suppose you can do that. I suppose there's less pressure on you to field your best team, because realistically he's going to start if Arteta's putting out his best team, but maybe he does need a bit of a break. I don't know, but it's
to be honest, they've got Trossard. Trossard can play left or right.
It's true.
Extremely well. So you've got Jesus back. Nketiah is fit. Yes, I'm not saying he's the same level as Saka, but when Jesus was out, all we were hearing was Nketiah's doing a great job. Give him a chance. Let him play some minutes, because he's like he might have an injury. So obviously I don't follow Arsenal that closely, but it looks like he got dashed aside for a little while.
Yeah.
And I've seen his name on the bench for a few games and he wasn't coming on. Again, Arsenal fans may turn around and say there was a reason behind it, and it's not. Obviously, I don't look into them that deeply, so maybe there was a reason behind it. But
possibly that's
a game or two here and there, yeah. A game or two there, he needs to be rested.
The same Arsenal fans that were talking about Nketiah like he's the best thing since last red towards the end of last season, and he signed a new contract. He's going to be their main guy. The next Henry potentially. Like the same fans that were saying that now,
wow.
all changed their mind once Jesus comes. So I feel, for Nketiah, there was talk of him possibly leaving towards the end of last season if he wasn't getting game time.
Yeah.
Obviously, when they discarded, what's his name? That went to Chelsea.
Balogun.
Yeah. Once they discarded him.
Balogun went on loan. I think you must be thinking of someone else, but Balogun's on loan in France. I think at Reims. He's doing well actually.
Yeah.
In France. But I can't remember who went to Chelsea, but go on, carry on.
Yeah, and he signed a new contract. I think he thought he was gonna get more game time and stuff like that, and he hasn't had it this season. But when you bring in someone like Jesus and he's had the impact that he's had, what can you do apart from when you get your chance, when he was injured and stuff like that, step up and do what you got to do? And Nketiah done that, so they've got options. So if Saka is fatigued, then they've got options. So we'll see. But they kept themselves in the title race anyway at the moment as it stands.
Yeah.
They put pressure on City. And yeah, that's all they can keep doing till the end of the season, I guess. They've still got some hard games coming up though.
But they play Brighton before City, so they've got a chance to go ahead of them. But we'll speak more about that after the next game, because we'll move on to City versus Leeds.
Yep.
Wasn't as straightforward as I thought it was going to be. Oh, but I guess it's only because of the penalty miss. Right, what's your thoughts on it? Should Haaland have taken the penalty?
As a manager, so if I was as a manager of my team, and my penalty taker is my penalty taker, and as far as I care, regardless whether someone's on a hat trick or not, you take the penalty. That's my opinion. That's what I want. That's your job, your role. We've assigned that duty to you. You go out there and you do that duty, because at the end of the day, if a person does miss like that happened, that's your responsibility because you gave it up to him. Now I hear the sympathetic side of it in terms of man's on a hat trick. Back in the day, that used to happen more. Fair enough, yeah. If it goes well, he scores and he gets the hat trick. Probably hear nothing of it. As a manager, I'm still going to talk to you after the match personally. But at the end of the day, you're our penalty taker. That's your assigned job. That's your task. We put that responsibility in your hands. So you got to do that. And realistically, he's breaking records this season. So really, he could have done that and put his old records goals in the season to another and chalk up another one. And also, from another point of view, when he's your captain in dream team, bro, you don't want to be seeing man giving up penalties, bro.
Well, I was going to bring you to that because it's not the first time. This is time number 3, bruv. I blame Pep because twice I've said on this show, why is he not taking a penalty? It's the third penalty he's given up this season, and only now Pep is saying you should be taking it. He gave it to Mahrez. Mahrez scored both of them. Mahrez scored both of them, so he didn't say nothing.
I reckon something's been said now, and he has been given the role, and he's the dedicated penalty taker now. I think that's happened because Mahrez went nowhere near the penalty. So I think
I don't think he was on the pitch. Was he on the pitch?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He played, but I'm not sure if he's on the pitch.
But he wasn't. He was on the pitch. He was on the pitch.
So
he was.
So I think he's been told that that's his job. So they've had the conversation now, and I think whereas before, maybe people were asking the same questions that we're asking, why is Haaland not taking them? And it's happened. Klopp said in his interview, he's our best penalty taker. So they've obviously know who the best penalty taker is. So that obviously that decision's been made, and he's gone against that decision. And the fact that that decision's been made, and I think it's been stated amongst the team, is why Pep's probably pissed off with the fact that he didn't take it, and he clearly said it. You're meant to be taking it. You should be taking
a penalty, yeah.
And I understand the sentiment thing from Haaland, and he's trying to be a teammate, only fresh there. Gundogan's really respected at the club and stuff like that. Fair enough, But look, it nearly came back and
do your job.
And it nearly came back and beat them, boy. Because Leeds went and scored.
Because that was within 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes they scored. I swear it felt like it. Even if it wasn't, it felt like it was within 2 minutes that they scored.
And sometimes teams just need that momentum.
And it was nervy.
Yeah, sometimes Leeds just might needed that momentum. Look, we're 2-0 down. Oh, we could have been 3-0 down. Then we've got the goal here. You never know, we can get a draw against City. That's a great result. A point. It makes a big difference to them. So yeah, and it made Big Sam's return look not half bad, getting 2-1 against Leeds.
He said he's as good as Klopp, and Klopp got better 4-1 or 5-1. It says that. I only conceded 2.
He said he's as good as Klopp, and he's good as Pep, and in his footballing knowledge surpasses both of them. But yeah, I can tell you what his financial knowledge and his contract knowledge is quite smart as well, because he don't have to win it. He could potentially not win a game, keep Leeds up, and be banked. So
yeah, bro,
it's crazy. But to be honest, they looked more solid, Leeds, but then I think they didn't. They lost some of that je ne sais quoi, that flair that they got going forward, and So
But they needed to lose that because I think I said last week that if Sam comes in, he's got a big decision to make with the goalkeeper, and I'm not surprised he took him out. I'm not surprised because I don't, none of us knew who the goalkeeper was at the time. I think Leon said whoever that third goalkeeper, whoever the number 2 goalkeeper is, I don't know why he's been playing, and now we know it's Robles. I'm even more surprised he wasn't playing
yeah,
because
Robles.
Robles is not. It's not a dead
No,
goalkeeper.
he's not their
He's
goalkeeper.
not great, but he's a good goalkeeper.
No,
And
I think part of the reason is because Melia had such hype about him, and he was being talked up about going to bigger clubs this season. I think
he was
you know,
killing them though every week though.
yeah, he's made mistakes, but yeah, and his stock's gone down. But yeah, um, look, they're still in the relegation battle.
Yeah,
They didn't get a result that Big Sam and everyone was dreaming for on his return, but they gave an account of
hmm
themselves, and like you said, they only shipped in 2 goals, and yeah, Nelly made that penalty miss pay for City, but City got away with it.
Because in the end it was a bad weekend for them because I think they were outside of the bottom 3 when he joined, and now they're in the bottom 3, only 2 points away from it. But with another tough game coming up, it's going to be interesting to see if they can pick up the points.
Yeah,
But City doing what City do, just getting the win anyhow, and they roll on because they've got a tough game coming up. But we'll move on. We'll move on to United.
yep.
So they had 2 games in a week, 2 losses, which as you said,
Look at that smile on your face, bro.
listen, when Man United, I'm not even smiling because we can get 4th. I'm smiling because Man United lost. If for some miracle, which I don't think is going to happen, if it helps us get 4th, that'd be fantastic. But it's not going to happen because they're going to get the points.
That would be
But
your
seeing
dream
them lose
scenario,
both games,
your dream scenario.
hey, of course he would.
Beating United to take their Champions League space. That would be
But again,
for
it's not
you.
happening.
For you, that'd be like that's a successful league season for you. You'd be happy with that based on how it was earlier in the season. I can tell you that now. You'd be dancing, bro. You'd be dancing.
I wouldn't say successful. I would say that it papered over cracks and made it a more, I don't know,
Palatable.
yeah, made it more palatable.
Yeah.
But again, it's not going to happen. So
It's not even that.
Brighton,
It's just to have that over United fans. I know.
yeah, I know. It would be good. It would be good. In terms of the Brighton game, I mean, Man United, they got bad. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The way they conceded, it felt good. Like normally you see Man United. Things normally you see Man United in it scoring last minute penalty, and it's like, how did Man United get to do this all the time?
Yeah.
To see
But
Gary Neville saying Shaw was, yeah, it was deserved. I think Gary Neville was about to give the man of the match to Luke Shaw. I swear down. I swear down. And then he handballed it, and then he's thinking, for God's sake.
It's a handball for me, though. Would you argue it?
Yeah, no, it's handball. His whole talk of the foul before it wasn't a foul. I mean, come on. How many times has he or anyone won fouls before goals have been conceded and they don't think nothing of it?
Yeah,
Moaning about a foul before it. It's a foul, man. Like, defend better. You can't say you got nudged and your hand went up there. Why did your hand go up there because you got nudged?
Exactly.
Nonsense.
To be honest with you, I'd say United got what they deserved. That was just deserved. Brighton deserved those 3 points. To be honest with you, and yeah, to be honest, that game it was a big game for both clubs really because United were trying to obviously hold off because Brighton were in pole position to take that run in on the top 4. And United, a draw would have been alright for United. And that's why I suppose it hurt them more. But I think that Brighton deserved it. And then, yeah, they moved on to the weekend, and you thought they'd bounce back against West Ham, but again, their away form has let them down. And again, a fault of their own doing, because I don't know how De Gea doesn't save that. I'll be honest with you. Like,
Bruv.
as a goalkeeper, that's disappointing. That is very disappointing. It wasn't even show wasn't even nothing special. It just felt like lazy goalkeeping when I look at it.
That's probably the worst goals I've ever seen from a shot from outside the box. It must be one of the worst I've ever seen from a shot from outside the box, because he was even. I don't think he's even unsighted. I can't remember if you just said that or not,
Well, I'm
but
not sure. But
it's
even still,
wrong.
they had so much time before it got to him. It was going so slow. All he had to do is do what you do in training. That's light
I
work
think
in
he
training.
slipped.
I was going
I
to
think
say.
he slipped. They said. Remember them commentary
Yeah,
saying he slipped just beforehand, and that's
but
what cost it. Because there's got to be a reason.
he still had enough
He got a hand on it, bro. He got a
hands
hand on it.
to stop it. Yeah, and I know people saying, "Oh, the ball was spinning," but you can't make those mistakes, man. Can't make those mistakes. And to be honest with you, again, West Ham, United away from home, but West Ham did their thing. They played really well, and again,
Yeah,
probably deserved to win that match as well. If I'm honest with you,
right. They did. They could have got more goals.
and they could have got more goals, and they had chances, and obviously some disallowed as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know whether it's just an away thing, away form for United, and whether their home games, like you said, will be key for them. But two losses in a row, you know, as Fergie would say, it's squeaky bum time for them, boy.
Yeah,
Because
for real.
it's yeah, the performances weren't good either. Both of those performances
No,
weren't good either. To be honest with you,
for me, I think they can't wait to go back home. Because they've got Wolves coming up, and Wolves are really bad away from home. So I'm expecting them to win. Um, it's just I'm trying to see how it works. I mean, Vegas got a start, and you're thinking Marshall was thinking, what? How's this guy started ahead of me? He didn't do anything. You've got Rashford, who was having the season of his life at one point earlier this year, not even this season. Earlier this year, he was the best player in the world in current form, and that kind of talk, and
hmm
that evaporated quickly. That evaporated quickly, mate. So I don't know. It's a knock, but it's something I think they can overcome, and they'll get their bare minimum, which is top four. But it's now tense for them. It's now, let's see whether they can handle the pressure.
it starts getting in question marks the next season as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I guess
If you're doing your thing at one point like they was doing, and at one point people are talking about them in the title run as well, um, or even if you're up there and you're then the clear of the rest of the teams, but now they've been dragged back into it, and the top four, crazy enough, is still quite open. You know,
yeah,
realistically, United and Newcastle should see it out, but it's been a funny season, bro. It's been a funny season.
yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But we'll move on. We'll move on to the next game. As we spoke about earlier, Brighton winning against Man United, they were on the high.
Yep.
But I was not expecting what I saw when they played
Yeah,
against Everton.
they
Everton
got rolled.
smashed them.
To be honest with you, well, actually, no, I can't. For me, that's what for the weekend. That was the most exciting game of the weekend. And then obviously until the Monday, the Forest game.
Yeah, for
But
Southampton.
yeah, but Everton. Where has that Everton been all this season? Like,
It's been
wow.
it's been chilling with Calvert Lewin on the treatment table, bro.
Yeah, the light skinned Harry Kane. Yeah,
He was fully fit and he looked it. I'll give him that.
like
He was a handful. He was
the
a
role for
handful.
the role for the first guy at the start of the game, and then the
Yeah,
cross to Decore. That was delightful. Decore 2 goals, quality. The second one as well. The quality finish for the second one near post. Jeez, like Everton just rolled out of the block on it. To be honest with you, I wasn't expecting it because of how good Brighton have been playing. But if you listen to the talk before the game from Daesh, I think he had a proper game plan, and
yeah. Clog up that
he knew
midfield,
what
bro.
he knew what it was going to be about, bruv. And he talks about not giving them a chance to play, winning the second balls in transitions and stuff like that, not giving them a chance to be free flowing and then hit them on the counter. And like if De Zerbi could have listened to his pre-match talk, maybe he would have had more for Dash boy. But yeah, Everton got it right, and it was a great performance. And yeah, McNeil as well. Jeez, like, hey, it's doing bit.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny where I think his second goal when he walked it in, or his first goal when he walked it in, that Decore was there screaming, "Let me get my hat trick! Let me get my hat trick!" He said, "Forget you, bro. I'm putting this into the net." It would have been
That was
cool
nice.
if they give it to him. If we'd passed it to him to give him,
It would have been. But
wow.
after
You're
you,
a nice guy, bro.
yeah, but after you sat the defender down like that and then rounded the keeper, like you got to finish that, bro. It would have been even better if you just run it across the line rather than because he did shoot it in the end, but he should just run it across the line. That would have been even better. But the final one, the
finish,
top bins. Oh, he's been a key player for them towards the end of the season, and he's chipped in some really important goals. But like that result there, that took Everton from relegation to 16th, I think it is, and that's crazy.
Yeah, the point was 16th until something else happened.
Obviously, crazy result, but yeah,
it's good with Brighton because at one point Brighton, if they won their games in hand, they'll be above Liverpool. Now that's not the case, but I don't think they go above us now, which is good for us. It's only one game in hand on us, so it's good for us in that regard. Listen to me, I'm talking about keeping ahead of Brighton. I mean, what kind of state we're in, bro? Keeping ahead of Brighton. But yeah, they're on 55 and we're on 62. So we've got that if we keep winning our games. But
we want to stay ahead of Brighton because if Brighton finish ahead of us, that's conference for us, bro.
Yeah, they're 2 points behind you, so they will go above you if they win their game in hand.
Yeah, they got 2 games in hand as well. So
no one. Two. You're right.
2 over us, yeah. So it's not looking good for us. It's not looking good. But
I think it's 2 over us as well. You're right. I think it's 2 over us too. I was wrong. But anyway,
yeah.
But moving on to Wolves Villa, I said it when the Wolves got smashed up last week. I said, listen, what do they need? They need a derby at home to just settle things down again. And
great
did their job.
Well. Did a great job. First time I've seen Emre like that on the sideline, bit confused. He looked a bit defeated at the end of the game. I think he was a bit surprised. Don't know whether it's the fact that it didn't quite get the whole implications of the derby. I don't know. Like,
no, I don't know. That was their third game this season. The first 2 games against him, funny enough, in Spain, they played each other twice already before they swapped clubs. Okay. So it was I think it was 1-1 in their respective games. So this tipped it over, and I think just the tactics of knowing each other.
I guess so.
And sometimes that can make things a bit different. Wolves needed it. They knew if they won that game, they'll be safe. I think up to 40 points. So they were probably hungrier than Villa were at the time. So I think those 2 combined got them the win. But sloppy was a decent sloppy defending. I mean, the header that they scored, it could have been defended better. I think the person, I think it was Ramsey, didn't get off the ground.
It probably would have been a penalty before that anyway, to be honest with you.
True.
So
very likely.
If that doesn't go in, because I don't know what craziness was going on in the corner, man was dragging man up, and it's like, come on, like with VAR nowadays, you can't be doing those things anymore. But it's a bit ridiculous. But it didn't matter anyway, because obviously the header went in. It was a good header. But yeah, no, fair play to Wolves. Good result for them. And I'm sure you'll be egging them on now to go and get a result against United.
Oh yeah, of course. But it's away from home, so I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting much at all. But if they can get a draw, well, see, may not need defeats now, so a draw doesn't help me. But anyway,
not worried about staying above Brighton now, are you?
Yeah. But
Uh,
on to the next one. Chelsea, Lampard finally gets a win.
finally.
Like,
Wow.
I think Bournemouth knew they were safe, and they exhaled a bit too
Well,
early.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that because I think before the game they was trying to get the point to get to make it
To
mathematical.
guarantee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but to be honest, obviously Chelsea took the lead. Um, uh, it's a good header. I don't know why someone as short as him is free in the box like that. With a good ball in as his first start as well. But once again, they let Bournemouth back into the game, and at that point again, you're looking at Bournemouth at home. You think the momentum's in them. They've been on a good little run lately. You thought Bournemouth was going to be more likely team to win, and you think it's starting to happen to Frank again. But yeah, they managed to finally get that win, and it looks quite comfortable in the 3-1 realistically. And it's interesting to see, the players that he's starting with, the players that are scoring now. Obviously, yeah,
Madueke has been their best player since Lampard's come in,
yeah,
and recently
definitely.
he's come in and he's taking his chance. I heard he's trained well, and he's been able to just do things the right way. And I wonder, it's made it interesting because Chelsea have got Man City in the running, and they've also got Man United. Not in terms of that running, but they've got Man City. Will Arsenal be hoping that this version of Chelsea turns up and can trouble them, get a draw or something at the Etihad?
But to be honest,
Because
they can play now with freedom and not worrying and
yeah,
stuff. Obviously, it was a bit peak for them while they kept getting the losses and not getting results. But now that they've got a win, bit of confidence, they can go out there and enjoy themselves and play freely.
yeah,
Technically, you could say they've secured safety with that
yes.
win.
Because I expect them
You
to beat
know,
Forest. So if they can get back-to-back wins, then that'll do their confidence a whole lot of good. But
mm.
we'll see. It could Chelsea could make the title race interesting. But we'll move on again because Fulham versus Leicester was another barnstormer. Wasn't
Another
expecting
barnstormer.
that. A
Why?
4-0. A
Fulham,
4-0, I was like, this game's done.
Fulham at home though. Like, to be honest with you, Leicester were poor. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think they was fighting for their life the way they started that match and played. It was too easy for Fulham. They showed some fight to come back into it. Obviously, Vardy did miss the penalty, which could have been key. But yeah, they showed fight and they came back into it. But again, defensive frailties towards the end and that making it again more or less an easy ride for Fulham. But Fulham have been playing well. They've at home they've got great records and the whole squad stepping up. To be honest with you, I have to say like Vinicius is enjoying himself, playing well at the moment, scoring goals, setting up goals as well.
I think
William
he just needed games. I think
rolling back in
Vinicius.
the year. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah.
said that from when he was at Tottenham. He's like I saw him playing the Portuguese league, and I know he's capable of scoring goals. He can be,
Hmm.
a destructive striker. He's got the physique and everything that he needs, but he needs to play consistently. He's one of those strikers that needs to play
Yeah.
consistently.
Because it was a good
So
finish. It was good
yeah, it was
movement. It was a good finish.
nice early shot. And that through the keeper couldn't save it. So he's capable anyway. He's a good player. But with him, William stepping up, doing his thing, rolling back the years. You got Wilson.
Benjamin Button, boy.
Yeah,
Williams at Benjamin Button.
yeah. To be honest with you, Fulham, like it was an easy game to them, and Leicester showed fight, but at a point that's too late in the game. So they need to take
Yeah.
those good parts
No,
and
no, no,
put
no,
it into the
not
rest
for
of
the
the
next
games.
game. No, not the next game. The way they were open. Let them stay that way for the first half and let us get our win. Then after that, they can continue that because
Okay, I don't think they.
bruv, knowing our luck, the Leicester we saw here will be a completely different Leicester when we play them on Monday,
They're gonna
and
have to.
they'll have tightened up.
They're gonna have to be. They ain't got much time left, so they're gonna have to be. Like otherwise, they're going down. And there's a lot of good players at that club. If they go down, I'll be real. Like, I'll take my boy Harvey Barnes straight one time.
There's a few players that could actually come to us. There's a few. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a shame. It's a shame he's always injured. I've always liked Pereira. I've always liked Pereira as a right back.
Yeah.
Ricardo Pereira, but he's missed the last 2 seasons. Otherwise, if he hadn't, I wouldn't have minded him as an understudy for Trent because he's good defensively and he can attack as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where the season goes with them two. But the last game, which we said was just a crazy one, Forest versus Southampton, 4-3. I mean, wow. I wasn't expecting that.
It was an end-to-end game. Like it was quality. Like, to be honest with you, I watched that game, and that definitely for the game week, that was the best game of the game week. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
Like
They both put everything in that.
Yeah, put everything in it. It was exciting. Could have gone any way. Southampton know they needed the win, but for me, like Forest at home, the fans got behind them, and they just seemed to want it more. To be honest with you, they really wanted it more. And Gibbs White had a great game. Great game. The touch for the I think it was the third goal.
Yeah, for Danilo's goal. Yeah, it's the fourth goal.
Fourth goal.
Yeah, for Danilo. Yeah, Danilo's goal.
Touch for Danilo's goal was quality, but look, Forest is a great result for them. Key again, it took them out of the relegation zone, and gave them hope now. But you got to remember what they've done this season in terms of players, signings. They've rebuilt a whole team effectively in a season, and many had them to go down. And
they looked gone, bro.
Yeah,
they looked gone in November. They looked gone in November.
Yeah.
So you give them credit. I mean, Southampton are gone, and they might just get raided completely. They may get a lot of money.
It's not mathematical yet, is it?
Nah, I don't think it is mathematical yet. But I mean, it's just it's peak.
It's not. It doesn't look plausible at all in any way whatsoever.
Because I think they play Brighton. They play.
That's a derby, more or less, as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And they won't. I can't see them. They play Fulham as well. So I can't see them getting anything for the next 3 games, Fulham than Brighton, if I'm completely honest with you.
They're going to have to.
And I think they got us last game of the season. So their last 3 games, Fulham, Brighton, and Liverpool, I just see 0 points from that. So I think they're done. But Lavia, I wouldn't mind taking him. A lot of people like Bella Kotchap. I don't think.
Yeah, Bella Kotchap.
I'm not sure if he's ready yet to come to Liverpool.
He's been a good signing. He's probably there because they've signed players this season. They've signed a hell of a lot of players this season. I wouldn't say there was massive spends, but Bella Kotchap definitely has been one of the most consistent in their team.